Wait a minute. That's not what it's like to work here. That recruiting video's just a hunk of shit.
Morning, everybody. Alright, so yesterday was a really rough day in the verse for us. Now, it wasn't from a money perspective, but good God, if things could go wrong, they were going to go wrong. So, where we're at right now, I'm at Grimhex. We had a request from a viewer um, in order to be able to kind of see Jumptown, and we decided to go ahead and run some drugs. But little beknownst to me, what ended up happening is that although we picked a bunch up with our freelancer, we picked up some that we are having troubles offloading now. And it's really not cool, right? So if you look at this, I'm able to sell 42 units out of 5,000. Okay? That means that just here on Widow alone, this is probably going to take an exorbitantly long time to get rid of all the cargo sitting on this ship. That said, it's worth $500,000, so I guess we're just going to go ahead and do what we got to do in order to be able to make sure that it works for us. So bear with me. I am trying to see what is going on with the stream, because right now it's not picking up. There it goes. Alright. Now I'm happy. Okay. Let me refresh my YouTube side and see what's going to go on there. See if it's going to pick it up as a live. And it did. Alright. There we go. Now I think we're good. Perfect. One last step. Let's get our chat moved over to where I can now see it. And there we go. Now I think I'm good to go. Are we ready for this morning? Yeah, I think we're ready for this morning. So, as you just saw, I can only do very, very little. And I'm not going to sit here and do a whole ton of server hopping. I'm just going to go ahead and leave this ship. However, the downside is, we also picked up Slam. Okay? And apparently, the two terminals that were in the game, where you could sell Slam, were Cruel L4 and CRUL 5. And in both of these cases, those terminals have been removed from the game. Looked at the forums, looked around, tried to find a whole bunch of different places and things that I could do in order to be able to figure out how to get rid of it. And guess what? I can't get rid of it. Slam is worth an absolute ton of money. So I think the long-term goal is we're just going to hold on to it. And we're going to see if 3.91... Excuse me. Whew. Didn't want to sneeze crazily loud into the microphone there. We're going to see if 3.91 will... the hell? I've never had a third caterpillar. What did they screw up this time? Well, I can't pull a caterpillar out here, so I'm just going to go ahead and... Oh, you've got to be kidding me. So I'm not missing my caterpillar. I'm missing my prospector. Yeah, oh, there it is. Okay. Huh. Why did it give me a third caterpillar? I didn't buy a third caterpillar. Oh, wait a minute. It's too big for this location. We gotta get to Porto. Don't want to bring the freelancer into Porto. Want to leave that here for sales purposes. So that just kind of means that we're stuck in a position where we have to claim something. So file a claim. Fine, we'll pay the expedited. Go back. Let's just make all of our ships available today. Don't need it expedited. We are going to leave that Caterpillar over there because I know that one is loaded down. We've still got Laranite sitting in that thing because we couldn't get over to Lorville yesterday. Not worried about paying the expedited fee. So where are we at this morning right now? So 2.9. We got over 500,000 sitting on between our ships right now as tied up. So here's to hoping, right? I mean, we gotta advance a few things today. So unfortunately, we are playing the waiting game. When we get over to Levski, we'll try and clear out a little bit more Laranite off of that thing, because what we're going to do is we're going to check our Tram and Myers run this morning. If titanium is flowing, titanium is flowing. If it's not, we pick up diamond. We're going to run that over to Levski. And then we may try some astatine runs. We'll see how it kind of plays out. I'd really like to not risk that particular caterpillar. But what's really got me intrigued here is why is it showing me another caterpillar that's sitting as stored? Alright. Let's get our Gladius and get over to Porto. A04. Come on, Airlock, you can do it. And you know, there are going to be an absolute ton of people that are headed over to Area 18 for Fleet Week, and that is fine with me, because guess what? The only thing that I am really interested in definitely flying is the Hammerhead. That's not open until what? Next week, according to the schedule. So I'm good with that. That means that we should have open access to most of the verse for the most part. Alright, so let's see, where is Port O? This equation. Now we're going to make a micro jump to O1. Okay. So good morning, guys. Glad you're able to show up. Feel free to jump and chat with me. I like to get chat really active today. We haven't had an active chat in the last couple of days. We've had a lot of people just hanging out and chilling. Right now we're trying to get a few things corrected from yesterday's stuff. We did some drug running, we did some high price commodity trading, or attempted. So we've got stuff that's kind of all over the place right now. stupidity issues. With people thinking they're the greatest thing since sliced bread. Alright, there we go. Let's make our call. So I'm on keyboard and mouse right now, so it's a little bit jumpy in this particular fighter. It's incredibly responsive. So I'm just trying to get myself over here to Porto, so I can start pulling out the real ships. I say that, but the Gladius is a freaking badass real ship. You've been waiting since this morning, Wing of God. I'll just be honest with you. There was, yesterday I thought that it was going to, they were going to drop the 3.91 patch before they actually went in. And if that methodology holds true, they'll probably drop the patch about mid-morning, and then maybe make the event go live around noon. Because I would hate to see a whole bunch of people with the free flight week and everything kick off, coming into extremely unstable servers right now. I don't think that would do very well for them keeping the game live and trying to create new backers for the game. Now, that's best guess, because they still haven't told anybody anything, and I went to the forums first thing this morning, so I just know that it kicks off today. Oh, we're not selling here. Hold on. We're picking up a ship. Had my brain going in two different directions this morning. Alright, so let's see if they're going to let me grab my cat out. They already dropped the PTU, but not the live. And you hate it? Okay, why's that? What's wrong with it? I avoid the PTU like the plague. There's my caterpillar. It let me pull it out. See, the problem is that the PTU doesn't do anything in-game while I'm streaming in order to be able to advance stuff. So, generally speaking, I stay off the PTU, and there's a couple of streamers that I follow personally that tend to play a lot the PTU, so I get a lot of my information from them. I'd rather play in the persistent universe and be able to acquire what I'm trying to acquire. You know, I know you're kind of new to the channel. I don't think I've seen you around in chat, but we just, a buddy of mine, he's one that I fly with on a regular basis. We just went out and farmed him up and bought him a caterpillar himself so he can do some stuff on his own. Now we're looking at our hammerhead, which is really the only thing I want to try during Free Flight Week. Now, based upon your PTU comment, obviously you are a player, so what do you enjoy the most about the game? What kind of aspect do you prefer? Do you have a basic account with like one of the Mustangs, one of the $45 ones, or are you just kind of hoping and waiting here for the Free Flight Week? Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Um, 1 second. I've got a pop-up that just popped up over my chat, which doesn't help me very much here, does it? All right, there we go. So if you could get in the game, would you? Just from basically what you're seeing? Okay. So I'll tell you this, and I'll tell you what. Normally, and as the channel grows, I will be doing giveaways, and I will be giving away free accounts into the games. However, right now, because we just started streaming, not even full time a month ago, we are not at that point. But maybe either between us or some of these other channels that are doing some of those giveaways, hopefully you get lucky and they'll give you a free account, or we can get you a free account. But even with that said, normally get in with a good organization, and people like myself will take you and we'll do missions in game and give you guys all kinds of funds in order to be able to buy certain ships. Well, so the funny thing is that you really don't need a credit card. If I'm not mistaken, you can do stuff through PayPal, but it's a one-time purchase. This isn't a monthly thing. This particular game, you can get in with the basic, cheapest snub fighter possible. Having trouble with lag spikes? Okay. That would also be an absolute killer for an alpha right now. Let's get lined up so I can change this. Enter third-person view. Oh, on the stream. Well, I'm seeing good, solid, steady numbers. I don't know what might be the issue. Landing gear. Yeah, I'm seeing a steady bit rate. I don't know what might be causing that trouble for you there, bud. Enter third-person view. Oh, we got some storm weather down here today. This is kind of weird. Alright, what do we got on the ground? Hopefully it's just somebody running box missions, because I don't feel like loading this sucker up. Alright, thank you for the follow. That definitely helps us every time we're trying to get set up to grow here. Let's see. So maybe, here's what the deal is. Maybe we can, once I get going and I get us up into Quantum, I'll give you a tour of the Caterpillar, alright? I tend to get a lot of questions about this particular ship. So, Wing of Good, where are you from? Let me close down that chat for right now. We tend to get a lot of visitors from all over the place, so just kind of curious where you're from. Alright, now, I did not see old boy hiding in here, so that's kind of sketchy to me. Let's see. We got a caterpillar. Titanium is sold out this morning, which means it is not going to be a good run for us to be able to take. Let's see what we can do. Laranite will be able to grab the other caterpillar and stock it up. It's an interesting thought. But we do have to go ahead and get over to Levski, so let's just grab some diamond for right now. Let's see what kind of profit we pull. Last time we did this, we made somewhere around 80k. So I wonder what's going to happen this morning over at Levski, what the terminals are running like. Let's see if my parkour is weak this morning. Oftentimes my first jump, I kind of bounce off of this thing. Oh, made it. So once we get airborne, get over into Quantum, I'll take you on a quick tour of the Caterpillar. It's kind of a tight squeeze here. Alright, so third person view is acting kind of goofy. It wants to just roll on us. So we'll wait. You have to go to a lot of the channels, Wing. I can tell you one of my favorite streamers that I follow, and he is a larger channel. He does do giveaways. Most of the times it's Steam giveaways, but it's not for this. The other day I know he was giving away a Cutlass Black package. His name is Bognagus. And after I get done streaming at noon, I usually host his channel. Nope, not Bach Nugget. It's called Bog Nagus. I'll type it in here for you. Just 1 second. Let me get rolling. And he is on Twitch. Like I said, he's one of my favorite ones to follow. He's also known as the Mustache. I think he puts out a fantastic, stream. He tends to do. I lean a little bit more. He probably is right now. We have some overlapping time, but like I said, when I finish at noon, noon my time, he's still got a few more hours, and that's why I usually host him. He tends to do a lot more with the first-person shooter aspect of it. He does a lot more with the crime aspect of things. Personally, I just like more of the flying and more of the trading aspect. So, whereas I make a crap ton of money, he does a crap ton of action. So, it's really kind of pick your poison, what you kind of really enjoy in the game. Now, he's been around for a long time, so he's got a lot of followers and he's got a lot of folks. So, problem is a lot of people feel like they get lost in his chat. Okay, That's the downside, is because he's got so many people sending him messages constantly. It's difficult to get acknowledgement other than just seeing what he's doing live in game. Now, he does acknowledge people when they say hi. He'll try and acknowledge them. If they follow or sub, he'll give them, kudos and accolades. But to be able to get that back and forth, unfortunately, you got to look at small channels. So that is really one of the biggest downsides to that. But the dude is a wealth of knowledge, and he definitely can show off a whole bunch about this game. You have to get the game in order to be able to get the PTU. Okay, you have open access once you have the game. So again, I don't know about financial situations. I don't want to know about financial situations. That's private business. But I can tell you this. No matter what, it's always just a one-time purchase of about $45 plus tax US. Okay? If you can get that together, get yourself one of the Auroras. Don't go for the Mustang Fighters or anything else like that. Just get yourself one of the Auroras, and you'll be able to do just about anything. Wing a Good, we are in the same exact boat right now. I started full-time streaming when I lost my job. Yeah, it happens. It is what it is, right? It's life. It's coronavirus. It's the economy. It's pick your poison at this point. Everybody wants to point a finger, but at the end of the day, stuff happens. No, it doesn't. I am not an affiliate yet. So, as a matter of fact, I can't even open up anything that has to do with finances until after I hit affiliate status. So I am doing this just to do this. I'm doing it because I love the game. Now, eventually, if the channel grows, yeah, there's a potential that it could start paying out. But right now, it's not. I've only been full-time streaming for a month. I mean, I'd love to be able to do all that kind of stuff and just do the giveaways. Now, I did a giveaway yesterday, but unfortunately, I don't know what was going on. Most of my regulars were either off or not around and available yesterday. Usually I have a core group, about 7 or 8 people that watch, but they were not on yesterday. For the people who have an account and were playing, I have the funds, and I was doing a giveaway for a in-game purchased Cutlass Black. So not the game package, but basically I'd meet up with them, give them the 1.3 million, and let them pick up a Cutlass Black in-game. Because right now that's where my funds are, is actually sitting here in-game. So that's why I'm saying there's things like that where even if you had a basic account, being able to hook up with streamers and people like me or people who are running orgs, where I'm always looking for people to help me out flying the Caterpillars that I have, the couple that I have, to be able to make these kind of the big bucks in the game. That's usually enough to be able to quickly purchase in-game ships. Because not every in-game ship is, 4.6 million, if not more. A lot of these, like some of the most effective ones, are less than 2, so you can farm them up pretty quick. Enter third-person view. Alright, so here we are. Let's get set up for this approach. Hopefully this time we don't hit the wall again. This is one of those tight landing spots. It's terrible to get into. Did I upgrade this particular caterpillar? No. This particular caterpillar, no, I have not. I have a upgraded quantum drive in one of them, because I have several, but I haven't upgraded anything. My Gladius. No, you're not wrong. My Gladius, though, my fighter, that one is fully upgraded. That's one of the few ships that I have everything upgraded on. Let's see if the auto land will actually give me an opportunity to fuel this time. There it is, finally. So yeah, the one that I have currently stored here at Levski, now not this particular one because I have 2 of them, and for whatever reason I woke up this morning and looked at the terminal and it said now I had 3. So I'm going to put that to the test, but I'm expecting with the patch reset they'll probably fix all that nonsense. But the one that I have here at Levski right now is loaded down with a bunch of laranite, which is one of the most expensive commodities in the game. And the place where you're supposed to deliver it, they overtune the winds. So most of the time on your approach, you crash. So it's one we're going to check and see if the storms are still kicking today. But if not, we'll deliver it. But yeah, no, my favorite thing in this is basically I like the trading just because I get to just kind of kick back, casually fly, chill, not worried about stuff blowing up constantly. The only thing I have to worry about is whether or not the computer system's going to die. I mean, the infamous 30K error from Star Citizen is my biggest nightmare. Have you seen Levski yet? I know you don't. You said you don't play, but you know, streamers, have you been able to get the grand tour of Levski? Let's see. Let's go ahead and sell what we got. Alright, so Caterpillar number 2. Let's clear out all this diamond. So we're going to sell it for 414 and we bought it for 329. So we are still making a really good chunk of change right there. Almost 85K right now in a single run. Alright, so let's flip our caterpillars over to the one that I have sitting here with laranite, and let's see. It's only going to let me offload 1,150 units. Okay. So we're creeping creeping up there. We'll go ahead and do our astatine run now. And head back over. Alright, dude, if you want to bounce over there, feel free to bounce over there. It doesn't bother me whatsoever. Like I said, he's one of my favorite streamers. I appreciate the follow and you hanging out and chilling. He's going to give you some insights into the game that I can't give you. But anyway, so let's find our caterpillar again real quick because we are running across the verse. And we're going to go see what we can do about picking up one of the best trades you can do without having to hit Lorville right now. There she is. So as long as the trade terminals over there are not glitchy, I expect to make over 100K. So usually it's between 110 and 130K profit. Just in one run. Well, so when basically I'm not a huge fan of super large streamers either in general. I like Bagonis' style, and you know, I'll just be honest with you. Other than you would get lost in his chat, it's a really good stream to be able to get information on. Do you think the Kraken Privateer will be on sale again during Fleet Week? Good question. I would say that a vast majority of their ships will be on sale during Fleet Week because what they're trying to do is increase their number of backers. And basically what I've got is, I know there's a bunch of hotkeys, but I have a bunch of voice commands set up on my voice attack software. So there's a lot of times you'll actually hear me say stuff that just sounds like it's random, but it's because I have a whole bunch of keybinds that are auto-programmed in. So like right now, if you look at my screen, just down at the front nose of my vehicle, I'm going to say landing gear. And of course it wants to sit there because I was just chatting. Landing gear. And you'll notice that it'll automatically put it up. So there's a lot of stuff that I have set up for when I'm actually running my dual flight sticks that make it easier for me to fly. Alright, so we are headed across the verse. And this is a well-kept secret here, people. A lot of people avoid coming to Ida, and I don't know why. The trade potential here is just absolutely fantastic. I'm wondering if a lot of it has to deal with the fact that Lorville's so overtuned with wind right now that you can't really get around and do much of anything. So, Chris, again, kind of circling back to that, the purpose of Fleet Week, obviously they've got lore behind it, but the purpose of Fleet Week really, from a commercial perspective, is to try and get more backers in the game. I mean, they've got a ton of cash, and they're doing development, even though it's a smaller team, but there are different times of the year where they put different ships on sale, okay? So I would expect some of the major announced ships this year to be available during Fleet Week. And again, I come back to what was asked earlier. It should be available. I was expecting them to drop the 3.91 stabilization patch yesterday. So it only makes sense that at some point in time this morning, hopefully they will drop that patch before they start trying to bring in potential new backers. Because if not, the servers are going to get very, very, very unstable with a bunch of people downloading the game and trying to jump onto it real quick. So, again, I've got my voice attack set up, so enter third-person view. Maybe I need to enunciate better this morning. Enter third-person view. There it goes. So, what you're seeing right now, guys, is this is, and I've got my system set up to be able to run the highest quality possible on the game. So what you're seeing stream-wise is what you would see in-game if you're able to play at a high level. Obviously, there are quite a bit of things that go into this. It's an alpha, so you have to take it as an alpha. You're going to have glitches, you're going to have problems, you're going to have, crashes, all kinds of stuff, because essentially a lot of people jump into this thinking it's a finished game. And it looks beautiful when it's working right. It feels like a finished game. But then there's times when you just start hitting these brick walls that just want to drive you nuts. So, as an alpha or alpha tester, I think it's a fantastic product, and there's going to be some improvements as they switch over to Vulkan as the primary engine instead of the DirectX engines. They're doing some stabilization work for the first time in a long time, which is great. I'm very happy about that. There's quite a bit of ships in development, and the guy that's doing this game, one of the things that he was known for, and this is way, way, way back in the day, was the old Wing Commander series. So what he's figured out is that people, when they're doing this because they want to fly, right? So he wanted that open concept here for people just to do whatever they want to do, and I think he's hit a home run compared to some of the other games that are out there. Now, I say that with a grain of salt. It's very playable until you get a bunch of server disconnect errors over and over again, and then it gets frustrating. I have lost millions in in-game currency due to server connection errors. And it's not on my side. Alright, Ida, where you at? Now, if we get a good approach angle on this one, this is a really cool approach. Sometimes you'll get these high-level clouds that you get to fly through here, and it's really kind of an interesting thing. Space Engineers, I have seen it, and I personally don't play the game, but I will tell you that I do like the creativity portion of what I've seen from the Space Engineers game itself. It's kind of like Roblox meets Star Citizen. So, Win of Good, I appreciate the fact that you're being as active as a chatter as you are this morning. It definitely makes the stream a lot more lively. It makes it a lot more fun. It's better than just sitting here as an old dude just kicking back playing video games talking about nonsense, right? It's a lot more fun to talk to just random people that are in and around. You have Space Engineers and you're already bored? There's a lot of people that said the same thing. Very close to Don't worry about that, man. I've got a bot that's set up that it wants to do everything, because sometimes there are some folks that get in here now that are a little less than respectful. So don't worry about the caps. But there's a lot of folks that have bailed on things like Eve and Elite Dangerous and Space Engineers specifically for this game. And again, those are the ones that I think sometimes run into some issues, and it's only because they are expecting this to be a fully fledged game. Enter third-person view. Landing gear. Lights. I wonder why that command didn't work. Lights. Well, it really depends. It really depends on what you're doing. There is not, if you're a first-person shooter fan, there's not a lot of missions yet that are created for that portion of the game. Some things can kind of feel really repetitive, and unfortunately, a lot of this game is about grinding out funds. Okay? Without it, you just kind of are at the mercy of whatever you have available to you, and unfortunately sometimes it's not always all that great. Let's see if we're going to be able to fuel here or not. Oh, it is going to let us, so we're just going to go ahead and pick up some more quantum fuel to kind of top off the tanks here real fast. As soon as I see that rolling and we get up to about 8K in our current fuel, then we're going to bounce out of here and see if we can go ahead and start doing what we need to with the trade terminals. See if they're going to give us any grief this morning. So one of the biggest glitches that I still experience lately is the fact that we could run into a scenario where as we leave the ship and as we go to this trade terminal, there's some server lag. And oftentimes what will happen is it won't let me interact with the trade terminal until I come back to the ship, reestablish this comm link, and then go back in. So those are things that you run into on a regular basis here with Star Citizen. And right now, we've got a bunch of wind that is pushing. If you can see going across that pad right there, the wind that's blowing across. So this is full sprint mode right now, and he's barely looks like he's walking. If I come off of it, he looks like he's creeping through the, through the wind right now. So like I said, I think they overtuned the wind when they first did this on 3.9, and that's one of the patch fixes that they've got going on. And the other thing is, I would really like that if when you hit the interaction key, that it leaves you in third person. I don't like this. It keeps dropping me back in and out of third person and first person. Okay, let's see if the trade terminal is going to work this morning. Come over, select our location, which should be our Caterpillar, and it's not showing us any commodities. So, next thing we do is we come over here and we try and interact with this guy.
We're done here.
Back up from him, go back to our trade terminal, and let's see if it opens it back up again. Select our caterpillar. Still no items. So now, the only thing that we have left that we can do, and this is, again, crappy here, so I'm sorry. We run back out to our ship, get on the lift, establish the comm channel again, and then come back in. We'll put that down as glitch number 3 for this morning so far. It's kind of like this little race to see how many bugs you can actually experience before you get a 30K disconnect. Right now, my top has been 22. It's sad that that's the way it works, right? So here we are. Let's see. As soon as we get the comm channel established, now we can turn around and get back off and go down and do this all over again. Because God knows that's the only way to make it work. They fixed some of them. Let's see, where are we looking at? We are needing to go there. Okay. So they did fix some of them when there's a lot of places that I still go that I do see people either standing on tables or standing on chairs. But for the most part, they've gotten most of them taken care of. We'll take a look here in a little while and see. We'll fly over to Area 18 and pick up a trade or something that may take us over that way. It's not a location that I usually frequent. See, that pop into first-person view. Gets annoying. So all of y'all that are just kind of hanging out and chilling, feel free. Interact, man. Let's keep chat going.
What can I do for you? Bye.
Alright, now he's being polite. Let's see if our trade terminal will now pick us up. Please tell me, come on. I know you got commodities here. So, guys, this is where the issue is. Alright, dude. I appreciate it. Obviously, you're overseas, so I appreciate you stopping by, man. We'll be on pretty much every day, so feel free. And if you're in, feel free, shoot me a friend request, or if you chop into chat, I'll give you my player ID, and we can fly together. Come on, I know you can do it. So we're still getting the server lag here, which is terrible.
Need something?
Yep, I need you to tell me how it's going, and spend a little bit of time, Bob, so that we can, Alright, let's say goodbye.
Bye.
Because I am really fighting with this particular trade. Alright, man, have a good one. Alright, so Ryder wants to be a nightmare, so let's head over to Woodruff, same planet. Let's see if we can pick up the same commodities there. So it should just be a quick little hop, skip, and a jump over. See him running sideways through the wind. Looks uncomfortable. Come on, the wind ain't that strong right now. There we go. So I do see that we do have quite a few people both on YouTube and our Twitch side. So guys, I know Win of Good had to bail for the evening with it being late for him. Feel free to drop me a message, guys. Just see it with him. I like to chat back and forth. I'm not gonna be one of these. I'm not gonna be like one of these really big streamers that just you don't get a chance to interact with. So we are getting a whole lot of crazy lag right now. I wonder if this server is about to crash on us. There we go. Or if it's just this location. We'll find out. Let's try and set our destination here really quickly to Woodruff. And that way we can go ahead and make that micro jump. I know, it looks like I'm about to hit the planet. And I'm concerned. Will it correct itself in time? Yes, it will. Alright, good. Yeah, so last night, guys, just so that you're aware, I did get some stuff tied up into a couple of different ships, and it's kind of limited what I have available to me this morning because of certain commodities that are just kind of stuck in different places. We did find out, however, running drugs, crime doesn't pay. Apparently the game has temporarily removed the trading terminals that are located at some of our rest stops. And in doing so, you cannot sell some of the most expensive stuff that you make. Sorry, false alarm. Okay. You're not going to bed then? Not calling it a night? Okay, that's all good. So you said it's 10 o'clock there for you, so where are you at? If you don't mind me asking. Thailand. Okay. Alright, nice. Nice. Well, it's good to have you here. Kenny. Yes, it is. And again, because I don't run drugs all the time, it was a request of a viewer. And he wanted to see Jumptown. So I took him over to Jumptown and decided to take my freelancer. And, well, long story short, while I was there, take the mindset of a trader, and I picked up a bunch of commodities to sell, only to find out you can't sell them after spending $500,000. So I'm got that freelancer parked, and I'm waiting for 391 to drop to see if they corrected that particular issue. Well, that's the thing is, Slam and Widow is what I loaded up on. But you can't sell the Slam. Both of the CRULs, 4 and 5, neither of them will take the Slam. Now, you can sell the Widow at Grim Hex, which is what I'm cycling through, but you can't sell a whole ton of it. So that's what's really made the challenge, Kenny, is that I've got a freelancer, which I usually use to kind of scoot around and do miscellaneous little things with, tied up with illegal commodities. So I have to leave it parked somewhere until that is available to me to work with again. I personally think it had to have been a programming mistake, and they'll get it straightened out here pretty quick. Again, I could probably ask some people that are in the PTU to double check and see if it's working. Yeah, I agree. The only other one, like the Core, is a very awesome looking ship, right? The only other one that I would say would make a really good runner for that kind of stuff is the Titan, the Avenger. With the 8 SCU cargo space that it has, it makes it a prime candidate to be able to run a bunch of drugs. I was able to fill the Freelancer. Between Widow and Slam, I was able to fill the Freelancer in one shot. So that's kind of it's kind of bad on me because I went ahead and picked up 66 SCU of equipment, or not equipment, but of drugs, and should not have. But that's okay. Let's see. The Core has 4 size 2 guns on turrets and gimbals. All right, nice. That is a hell of a lot of firepower. Good morning, Red Dragon. So I was just discussing yesterday's activities to Jumptown, per your request. And there is good news and there is bad news. The good news is that we spent a whole lot of money, and you got a chance to see Jumptown, and it was really, really cool. The bad news is that the trade terminals that take Slam are not in the game right now. So I have a freelancer that is tied down with a bunch of illegal cargo and a whole lot of money tied into it. Oh, goodness. Come on. That's going to happen again this morning. 2 separate locations, and you're going to act like this. How's it going?
Yeah.
Nice to talk to you, Bob. Alright, look, I thought that was fine, but we're going to say goodbye. So, yeah, Red Dragon, that happened, and then to top it off, last night off camera, what happened was I had one of my Caterpillars, and I was going to try the test run to get over to Loreville and see if the winds were still kicking rough. And I did so with about a half-loaded ship, a Caterpillar of Laranite. So I've got another, like, almost, 750,000 to $1 million UEC invested in cargo sitting on another ship, and the winds were too strong, so I had to back out. So unfortunately, I have got a lot of my big ships tied up with cargo from yesterday. And here I am trying to get another cargo run, and I can't seem to get them to give me the commodity. It is freaking horrible. Alright, so we have now reset the Drake Caterpillar channel. Let's try this again. All the normal workarounds seem to not be working this morning. Let's see, it's not that one. There it is. Okay, so we will go that direction. I'm going to take a little bit of our sweet time getting there, right? So, I love this armor. It's just such a hodgepodge, and like the duct tape sitting on the side of it. That's just freaking fantastic. It's so just grungy. Okay, now we got some wind kicking, so let me go ahead and jump into a sprint, technically, to try and get there a little quicker. And Red Dragon, they did not drop the patch yesterday. So I am waiting to see if the patch drops first thing this morning at some point. You know, if it does, I'd expect it within the next hour. If not, they're entering Fleet Week more than likely with a very unstable set of servers. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to talk to Seabiscuits. No, I don't want to talk to Seabiscuits. Goodbye.
That's all.
Alright. Please. There we go. Now it's showing me commodities. See, those are some of the workarounds. And it's stupid that you have to go through some of this crap in order to be able to do this sometimes. If it still don't drop in 3.91 for the... I'm going to cry. I think a lot of us are going to cry because 3.91 is a very long time promised just quality of life thing for the gamers in this in Star Citizen. Okay, stop telling me it's failing and buy the material, please. The transaction failed, service error. Okay, so we will walk back up to the terminal. We now have to take our location. There's our Caterpillar, right? Give us a full load. Sometime today, please. There it is. Now we have 413K on board. And now we have risk. Alright, let's see. Let's get back to the ship as quick as can. Because the place where you sell this, and you sell it for the most, and like I said, it's going to be a little over 100K just in one run, which is the reason why I like it, is we have to head back to Port Olisar, which kind of resets my overall trade route, or my preferred trade route. And the good news is here at Ida, you don't have a lot of pirates that want to sit and just cause problems and cause grief. So this is, other than a server mess up, one of the most stable runs that you can do in the game. After 391 drops and they retune the winds sitting at, and I'm sorry, I'm rushing here a little bit because time is always of the essence the moment you put any type of cargo on here. But as soon as the winds are retuned around Lorville, then, and you don't have all the autopilot crashes and issues, that's when you're going to run into one of the best trades in the game, being titanium coming inside of the Hurston system back over to Lorville. A lot of people made a lot of money off of that run. So I want to head obviously a little bit further away so I don't have to circle the planet. Well, we're going to try it again today, Kenny. I do have the cargo that's sitting there, and I do want to offload it, and that's the only place that I could offload it on my other Caterpillar. So we're going to try and see what happens. But here's the cool thing. So if what you're seeing like right now, okay, so this astatine, Kenny, you saw that it took for the Caterpillar about 429K, right? And if you're profiting about 100K on each run, then you're getting a 25% margin overall. the reality of that run is that you're not putting 1.1 million in currency up for up for 30k issues. You're only putting 400k in. Okay? So that's kind of where it's like, this is the reason why I prefer running this to Laranite. But I do get it, man. 300k in a single shot. That's a lot of money in order to be able to throw into your bank account really, really quickly. It's just the problem with me is I think that's a lot of risk. Okay, true. I can see it. Fair enough. I did get to the point where I could farm up to that level and say, and say that as well. But yeah, it would suck, man. I think that would suck just to lose 1 million. It's not like I haven't been there and done that already, but yeah. Requires a level of stupidity. Okay. I think it requires a level of balls. And like what I'm doing right now, just the 400k, 500k area, that for a lot of people still requires some balls. But hats off to you, brother. If you're willing to risk 1 million a shot, I'm not gonna stub my nose at it, man. No, Dragon, it is not your fault, dude. I like to be able to show people what they want to see. It just, I kind of got to fit it into where it's going to fit, and it's all good. Obviously, it didn't stop the diamond runs because I have another caterpillar. It hasn't stopped my astatine runs because I have another caterpillar. The only thing that it would stop is, for instance, if I were to be able to have a secondary pilot and then run both of my caterpillars side by side. I'm kind of hoping that Chad is able to get his system fixed. Yesterday, midstream, when he was on, we had a crash on his side, and it wasn't a 30k error. It was legitimately a system crash on his side. And it gave him the red log file pop up, and he sent that information in. But unfortunately, from that moment going forward, his launcher is corrupted. There's something wrong. He's done everything he can do, even down to installing the game and resetting his user. And it just will not launch for him. But he can get into the side games, like, Area 42, the whole, the ship-to-ship combat stuff, the one-off stuff. He can get into all that, but he can't get into his main game, into the main universe. Chris, by the way, my phone just went off, so thank you very much for the subscription and follow over on YouTube. I do appreciate it. Kenny, we don't know. It legitimately just... He's getting an error that... I don't want that beacon. He's legitimately getting an error that is... It's not a 30k, but it's a 320 error is what it's considered, and I think that's more of like when I looked up the error codes, it's like an IBM error. It doesn't even flash and disappear. Okay, got scared there. I hit the button and nothing happened. I thought we were about to hit a 30k. But it doesn't even flash and disappear. Basically, all that's happening is he gets in and he gets started, and his main menus come up, and then it starts to try and load the game, and then gives him this arbitrary 30020 error. And the only thing that I could find on that error code is that it's an IBM error of some sort. So I'm really kind of at a loss of what's happening with his system. You know, obviously, I don't have his computer in front of me to go through it. Alright, so I want to get this on the deck as quickly as possible, so I'm probably not going to land it pretty here. It would also help if I didn't have my cruise control on. That could have caused some problems and crash. Yeah, I do use TeamViewer a lot, Kenny. I actually, our main studio, when we do our role-playing games, our main studio before COVID was set up, I have a streaming computer that sits over there, and I have TeamViewer set up on it as well as a few other PCs. I think it's a fantastic program. So, since we're back at Port Olisar, I wonder how many yahoos are going to try and steal my Caterpillar today. So guys, I know I've only got a few people chatting, but how many people do I have on that actually have the game right now and do play live? I didn't want to crouch, I wanted to run. There we go. That key works better. When? It will happen. It will happen soon, and like I said, even if it turns out to be a little bit of time because you have to get involved in some of the giveaways, then we'll get you there. Now, when I do have to ask you though, do you have a computer that is capable of running this game? Before you ever make any investment whatsoever. Naranka, good morning. How are you today? Alright, so let's check. We loaded for about 429 if I recall correctly. And we are gonna kick this back over for 507. I'm doing pretty good. Alright, you got the 3550. Alright, so are you the AH? Is that the... Are you sitting on a laptop? So I'll just tell you, it's really important. Okay. It's just... I meant for the computer when you were talking about what your processor was. But it's really important to make sure that you have a minimum of 16 gigs of RAM on your PC, that you have an SSD, and that you're running a really strong multi-core processor. If not, the alpha is not streamlined yet, and it will cause your computer to really struggle. And I will also say, make sure you keep that thing as cool as possible, because it has a tendency to try and overheat stuff. Yeah, that's good. That's fantastic. That'll be more than enough for you to be able to run on there. Win. Alright, so what we're going to do is we are going to grab our diamond at Myers one more time. We're going to run it to Levski, drop it off, and then we're going to grab our other caterpillar that has the Laranite on board and try and get that over to, Lorville. Why did I turn left? It's a right. It's a left turn at Albuquerque. So we're going to try and run that over to Lorville, check the winds. If that doesn't work, then maybe we'll see what we can do about heading over to Area 18 and trying to sell it there. So we'll be doing a ship swap out here pretty quick. Okay, that's kind of weird. My view is not wanting to work with me, but that's fine. We'll correct it in a second. Let's get moving. There we go. Now we'll take off the free look. We'll put that down as glitch number 5 this morning. Like I said, for those of you that are hanging out, I keep a little tally to see how many glitches I hit and errors I hit before we ever get a 30K. So where is Tram? Tram and Myers. Where are you hiding at this morning? There it is. So guys, I just want to say I do appreciate everybody being here this morning. You know, whether you're over on our YouTube side or whether you're over on our Twitch stream side, I really do appreciate it. I'm glad to have you hanging out and watching with us. Alright. Banarama. Okay, Bananarama. Thank you for the comment. I was, Kenny. But first thing this morning, every morning I check and see when I first get on whether or not that titanium is refreshing at the proper rates out at Tram and Myers. If it's not, then I instantly go over to my diamond and then run that to Levski. Okay? A little bit of a longer run, but it still does make pretty good chunk of change. Alright, so win. A 30K. A 30K is where the servers for Star Citizen, what's sitting on the Amazon structure right now, those Amazon servers, the server itself fails and it disconnects everybody from the server. It drops everyone. So what happens is that everybody that's on that server, whatever they were doing, they're kind of stuck. They're lost. They lose all cargo on board, all other kinds of stuff. So it's what most of us traders in the verse really fear. We don't necessarily fear pirates and all the other stuff. We really fear the 30Ks. Yep. So Kenny was making the comment there, and it should post over for you, hopefully, but there's no rollbacks. There's no insurance. So you lose the money that you lose. Landing gear. Yep. Oh yeah, it's a very brutal error, and Kenny's right. You know, one of the worst parts is that if you're in mid-travel, your ship is gone, and you have to file a claim on it. So something like a Caterpillar, some of these larger ships, you're talking 30 plus minutes unless you want to pay a bunch of money in order to be able to have it expedited. And even then, you're still having to sit and wait. Okay? So, you know, a lot of things most people will brush off like a grain of salt, and they'll just say, you know what, hey, no big deal, right? Fine, I have a terminal that I have to work around. I have to jump a server because something's weird. My camera is angling a different direction, so let me put it on free view and recenter everything. Those are minor. Those are minor inconveniences. I have to avoid Loreville because the wind's too high. Okay? There's other things that can be done. But a 30K, that connection kill, that one's just, that's like a knife to the heart. That one hurts. And the only thing you can ever hope for as a trader with a 30K is to make sure it's after you have already sold your cargo or before you've loaded your cargo. But those minutes after you load something until you get it dropped off, huge risk. So like right now, if we 30K'd at this very moment, I have no problems. I have no issues whatsoever. But the moment that I come over here and I do this, alright, and as you can see, Kenny, you can see that it's blacked out this morning. Somebody's running the titanium, but it's not refreshing fast enough to be able to pull from Tram and Myers. Now, there is a chunk of laranite that's sitting over here that's really good quality that I could bring my ship back and grab it and fully load down, which we might take advantage of because I already have a good chunk of laranite on the ship. So we'll just grab our 329K worth of diamond. And let's get this run underway so we can go grab our other Caterpillar and see what we can do about getting it sold. Alright, shotguns on a live range for real, making a jump with 1.5 million CAD is exhilarating. Kenny. Alright. I don't disagree. I don't disagree at all. I think now I'm an old vet, okay? Full disclosure, I'm an old vet from, the US Army for I've been out for over 20 years. And yeah, there's not a whole lot that I could say that's you get as anxious about as when you have a fully loaded down Caterpillar in this game. Now, when the hulls come out, like the hull D and hull E, when those large capacity ships come out, oh man, I could only imagine what it's going to feel like having to run one of those. Alright, so excuse me, I started this game 3 months ago. I'm still new to this game. So I'm still trying to learn a lot of the lore and a lot of the information and everything else that's sitting back there behind it. But just as you're seeing, I mean, see, there goes glitch number 6. It wants to look down, so let's go to a free view, lock it back in, and now we can lift off. Where was I? Alright. So yeah, I'm still trying to learn all the lore and stuff like that behind everything, because I've only been in it for a few months. But if you do it the right way and you grind it out the right way, you can earn a ton of cash in this game and start unlocking all kinds of fun stuff. Let's get to Delamar to sell this. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys something. If you ever have to go through anything other than OM1 to Delamar out of Tram and Myers, like it tries to send you to another OM and doesn't send you to OM1, this route will blow your ship up. There's like an invisible wall that sits on that route. So make sure that no matter what you're doing, OM6 is safe, but make sure that your route almost always includes going through OM1 to get back to Delamar. Now, Kenny, have you had the instance or the fun portion where you're flying and you enter into quantum and it leaves your pilot behind you? Your ship just flies off without you? is my little deal. There it is. That little arrow up in the upper corner, sometimes that is a pain to find and locate because your UI here is green. Dude, that little... Oh, there we go. Boom. There it is. There's a 300k loss right there. Let's see. All I can do is laugh. 300k. Out the window right there. Star Citizen, oh how I love thee. And now we get to file a claim. Red Dragon, why did that happen? Did you hear me talking a little bit earlier about some of those oddball things that happen in the game? Kenny is right. It's just called Star Citizen, my dude. Oh, okay, so we don't want that one. We want the one that's destroyed over Sealand. We will file that claim. And then we will go check on... So I'm awaiting delivery on that one. Let's see if it's going to let me pull this one. It shouldn't, but let's see if it's going to let me pull this one. Oh, love it. Fun and games. So, there it is. It let me pull it. Officially, the game glitched out again, and I now have 3 caterpillars in my arsenal. So, I may have lost 300k, but I gained a 4.6 million ship. I think I'll take that those. I'll take that any day, right? Except for the fact that now I don't have a pilot to be able to fly the other one. Oh, man. So, this is what I'm talking about. So, I'm glad you got a chance to see that. You know, basically, when that is some of the stuff that happens in an alpha test. And you can either get really pissed off about it, or you can kind of laugh it off and just understand that that's part of an alpha. Pretty much. Now, the definition of insanity is what is about to happen. We're on our way back to Tram and Myers to do it again. Now, here's the little blessing in disguise. At least that wasn't my caterpillar filled with laranite. That one may have been a big oof, and that one would have hurt. Kenny, very, very true. That is a salt in the wound, right? Okay, so let's see if my voice commands are going to kick in this morning. Engines on.
Hello and welcome aboard your dream interplanetary craft. Your systems are online.
Full launch.
Launch complete.
Spool quantum. Spool quantum drive. Landing gear. Yep, looks like most of them are checking out. Yes, sir. Voice attack. Absolutely love it. Now, when I'm in my fighters is when I really like to use it a lot more. Launch quantum drive. I was really impressed, Kenny, with voice attack. It kind of enhances the game so much more. especially when you have to like reallocate shields or reallocate power to other things, right? Um, Countermeasures. It's a fantastic way to deal with countermeasures in cycling them and kicking them off. And then the fact of the matter is anybody who's played, and I when I play with my fighters and stuff, I use dual joysticks. Okay, I don't use the throttle and the standard joystick. I use an actual dual stick setup. And when I play there's a lot of key bindings and other things that I was finding myself having to come off the joysticks for in order to be able to get on the mouse and keyboard to work. And voice attack really just cut all of that nonsense out for me and made it to where it was so much easier for me to be able to not have to worry about any of that garbage. Yes, I am playing on a Thrustmaster when I do it. Now, I don't have expensive equipment, I mean, this whole channel and everything that I've got set up and going, I like to appeal to the guys that are kind of budget friendly, okay? Like the streaming PC that I'm on, I get comparable numbers to some of the major players that are out there that are streaming this, and I've got maybe a third of the investment in my PC. My full PC and all setup was less than $650, and that's down in the tabs that are down below on the Twitch panels. So I've got all that stuff that's sitting out there. I don't fly a HOTAS. I'll give me a second. I'll pull it up here for you. I'll tell you just a second. All right. So my main one, okay, and as you can see, I can it's still hooked up and controlling, right? My main one is a Logitech, and it's an Extreme 3D Pro, okay? And then I use that one for all of my general flight controls, right? And then I've got this cheap little Thrustmaster USB joystick that was like $19, and it's not the Z-Access stuff, but I use this one for additional weapons, lock-ons, forward throttle, reverse, things like that. So it did make it to where I only had to spend $60 or $70 to get full flight joystick controls. Obviously the 10 on the voice attack, and then my PC, I've built that over time, but less than $650 into that. So again, it's as stable and as awesome as I need. But I'm also a huge AMD fan. Okay? I try and match up all my equipment to be as stable as possible using AMD. I found that their multi-threading for games and things like that really well surpasses what happens with NVIDIA and with Intel. But that's just my personal preference. I think the budget and value enthusiast really, it works better for them. Landing gear. So yeah, like I said, man, a lot of people really think that it takes a whole ton to get into some of this stuff, and to be honest, it really doesn't. You just kind of, like anything else in life, man, do a little bit of research, and you're going to find that you can get some really good quality pairings. AMD and ATI. When I run mine, Now I'm on an RX 590. Okay, there are a bunch of other, and that's my video card. So there are a bunch of other things that are available, and I've had a bunch of people yelling and screaming and telling me I need to get NVIDIA and I need to get a GTX and the whole 9 yards. And the folks that I have talked to that went with some of those builds, they are not getting the stability that I'm getting. Like right now, I don't have the overlay set up, but right now I'm pulling 52 FPS in this game. There's a lot of people that can't say that they can do that. Man, that's back in the day. Alright, so you see how Titanium just opened up again? Only 14 SCU, so not worth it. Boy, you took me back on that one, man. Now, by all means, please understand that, if I were to ever come across or have the funds in order to be able to pick up, one of the new AMD R7s, I would be all about it. But for all the gaming purposes that I do, I don't struggle. I don't have any issues. Yeah, I'm not going for a competition there. A 2070 is a nice card. Now, where you're going to see the 2070 blow mine away is when you're doing first-person shooters and other games. But for stuff like this, no. And then for stuff like VR, I still think that I'm sitting in probably a really good position for that kind of equipment as well. Excuse me. Take a drink, because doing a lot of talking.
Launch complete.
Alright, so what we're going to do is, instead of hitting that same route, because we know that that's going to be a problem, we are going to plot to Olisar. And it doesn't want to let us go. Okay. So with that, that just means that we're going to have to just do a fly around. And yes, I know it looks crazy because I'm headed back to OM6 again. So what I did, Kenny, is I made sure on mine that I looked at this game and I looked at the forums and I figured out that what they said had more to do with, you have to have a hell of a good processor. So I got the 2700X. I'm sorry, the 3600X. I had a 2700X in our studio PC. Alright, now let's see if we can set our course. So I went ahead and invested mostly in a processor, but at the same time, that was when I came back and said, OM1. I do not want to make that sub jump to the close OM1. That's the one that's going to blow us up. So we need to find another location to make our jump to. So we are going to bail and go to Yila. Because I decided I don't want to blow up again. Alright. So, again, that multi-threading for the game is really where it's at. And that adds so much more stability to it. But when I got mine, I also paired it up with a Asus Prime X570 chipset board. So it ended up being a very, very good combination investment for me. Hold on 1 second, guys.
Quantum drive is now off.
Sorry about that. My son had to step in here. Let me see. So we don't want to spool there. Now we want to go ahead and get ourselves over to Levski, right? Let's see if we can now get a good, clean route to Delamar, which it looks like we can. So that little invisible wall that we hit, it's a bug that I've hit on several occasions, and it's that close OM1 to the planet, Sealand, and it gets me every single time. Alright. So guys, I need to step away for about 30 seconds to go grab something for my son as he is getting ready to leave, and I will be right back. So what I'm going to do is, bear with me. I'm not shutting the stream down. I'm just going to kick over into this view, and I will be right back. Alright, let's see if we're about to crash. Sorry about that, guys. Ooh, my son was getting ready to head off to the range. I've got some older children that are here at the house, but my son was getting ready to head off to the range. Speaking of shooting, and needed to get access into the firearm safe. Yeah, I do. Hold on. Now I got to get my headset all arranged. I had it all comfortable this morning. Whew. All right. So yeah, when I do run a green screen, this channel, even though you're here and you're seeing a lot of this of Star Citizen being streamed, my group and my channel actually started out as a tabletop role-playing game channel. And when we do that, especially after COVID-19 hit and we all had to be remote instead of the studio, every one of us ran out and grabbed green screen material and set our cameras up at our own homes and run through a bunch of meeting software in order to be able to run those green screens and set stuff up just like we're still back in studio. So we've become a little bit more proficient with making sure that we have those sitting back there and how to use them. But I think it kind of enhances the stuff where you can kind of have those overlays and do things like that. Alright. She is going slow. Let's get her picked up in speed. Alright, so again, to reiterate, what we're doing here is we're going to go ahead and drop off this load of diamond. We're going to grab my other caterpillar, run back, fill it up with laranite, and then we'll try and run that out to area 18. Make a stop off at Hurston first and see if we can get into Loreville. I'd prefer to drop it there if the wind's not going to get us. Okay, let's see. We are on the wrong camera mode for me to do that. There it is. That will help. And we'll readjust there for future flight. And there it is. Voila, we can refuel. Okay, so by the time we get out of here, that's going to be at full, so we should be good. We'll just go ahead and...
Engines offline. Weapons offline.
So unfortunately, with that little explosion that we had, we're probably only going to gain back a fraction of the money that we had lost there. So still going to be slightly behind schedule. Would have been really cool to be able to hit about 4 million before the end of the stream today in total funds, but I don't think that's going to happen now. Oh, you know what, Robert T? I am sorry. I was so enthralled with the conversation that was going back and forth where Kenny and I were talking about the system stuff that I really hadn't noticed that statement that you made about you went from the 9590 to the 3800X a month ago, and it made a big difference in the game. Yeah, those X-rated processors from AMD, the technology that they've got them on, man, it is such a fantastic processor. It does so well. Okay, let's see. So here we are. Let's go ahead and sell off this one. Let's get rid of all that diamond. Okay. So that one was only about 80K, but in profit. But that puts us just back up right around that 3 million mark. So now we need to go ahead and grab the other caterpillar here and head out and see if we can get that Laranite sold. Let's go ahead and store that one. And retrieve that one. Hangar 2. Now the funny thing is I don't know how much gas is in this thing right now. This is the one that I upgraded my quantum drive on. And it is a faster quantum drive, but it drinks more fuel, which is saying something considering it's a caterpillar. Come on. Don't be touchy. There we go. Now, of all the times, I would like to make sure that we don't have a 30K. This would be it, because I'm climbing on board a ship that has quite a bit of Laranite on it. So, Kenny, you were telling me that you usually fly your stuff over to Area 18? Engines on.
Hello and welcome aboard your dream interplanetary craft. Your systems are online. Launch complete.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of gas that I can tell is left on this thing for right now, but we'll see. Let's go ahead and get flying up. Let's check our fuel situation. 2260. So we need to make a stop. Parallel 4. Can't make it. Alright. Where next? Cruel L5. Not a fan of this location, but we will make it happen. Because we need gas. So Kenny, you still hanging around with us right now? Excuse me. Yeah, I'm glad you are, Win. I was trying to see about, because Kenny had made some comments about the fact that he had been selling Laranite out there at Area 18. So I was going to ask him some questions in regards to that. Because again, Area 18 is not an area of the verse that I do a lot of trading to. So I know you wanted to see it earlier. So it was kind of that thought process of let me fuel up and then maybe we'll just fly to Area 18. I am concerned though with Fleet Week that there's probably going to be a ton of people on the server that are all sitting over there. And I do want to check Lorville first. So I go offline. Personally, I have about 50 minutes left of my standard stream time, which is noon for me. So we're going to try Lorville first, and if Lorville will let me offload, then we'll immediately fly over to Area 18 where I'm not risking any cargo or anything else like that. Okay? And that's how we'll run out the rest of the stream. Well, we're on our way over there as quick as we can right now, so I just have to get fuel in this thing or it won't make the jump. And I'll tell you what, because I know I will be on tomorrow, if for any reason you have to drop and it's too late for you, I will save that and we will make that an action and we will do that first thing tomorrow as soon as I see you log in and say hello. Will that work for you as well? Like I said, Red Dragon will tell you, I'll get the requests and I'll make sure that the requests happen. It may just take a little bit of time, but we'll make sure we get them to work for you. Well, tomorrow it should be about 9 a.m. for me, which should be about 9 p.m. for you. So if we do it tomorrow, then that'll be kind of the rough time frame. All right, give me a landing spot, please. Because we're only going to be here long enough just to get gas. I'm not parking and getting out and doing anything else. This one's a little tight. And I will even do the auto land just to make sure that it puts me where I'm supposed to be. So hopefully it's not bugged out. Alright, let's see. Are you gonna give me access to fuel? Yes, you are. Okay. So as you can see up here, I was way low on gas on this thing. out of the almost 11,000 that it's capable of carrying, we were down to 1,700. That was not going to make it jump pretty much anywhere. Alright, 1 second. I do need to check this really quickly. Make sure he made it out the door. Alright. Which looks like he did, so we are good there. Alright. So almost done fueling. I know, this is boring. This is the one part I hate about this. So normally when I have multiple people flying with me, instead of crewing out one ship, or instead of, fully crewing, a bunch of different ships, what I'll usually do is I'll take and I'll grab a pilot and have them fly the ship that I'm in. So that while I'm running and doing the trading, it speeds everything up. They can handle the fuel and the fueling up. Alright, so that's plenty. Let's go ahead and request our exit. And then we will set our pathway while we're waiting for that door to open, where we will be going to Hurston. And nope, not Edmund. Come on. Where is it at? Lorville. We're going to give you a shot. Door should be open. We should be good to get out of here. We should already have a course plotted. And there's our arrow. So where do we have to fly? Through the station. That's kind of cool, but no. I know, we're obstructed. Now we're not. So I'm kind of hoping that when we are able to get over there, if we can land this and we can get this offloaded, that it'll kind of make up for some of that significant loss that we took during the, during the explosion. But it is what it is. I know I'll probably be playing offline tonight anyway, so we'll still hit our 4 million. I got a personal goal to farm up 1 million credits every single day so that I can get my hammerhead here in the next week or so. That's really what it boils down to, is I am obsessing over that ship and I don't know why. And then maybe we'll make it a goal to start collecting fighters. But we'll see, because I'd like to get into a few other aspects of the game as well. Mining is awesome. Am I up at midnight or something? No, usually I'm not. My wife is an EMT and she works shift work, so she usually works 24 to 36 hour shifts. So the nights that she's home, I make sure I dedicate those nights to when she's here so that we can spend quality time. But on other nights where she may be working shift work, there are times when I do get on and I will play. I don't stream at that time, but there are times when I do get on and I just get on and play just to have fun as well. So, you know, usually that's where all the crazy stuff happens, which is, you know, let's not do the farming runs, let's run out and do claim jumpers or the merc missions or bounty hunting, or like my, you know, the other streamer that I follow, and I chat back and forth with him a bunch about streaming, but Bugnagus, you know, there's times when he's on stream where I'm on and I'll just kind of add a little fuel to the fire and I'll grab my Gladius, and while he's running around with the crime stat trying to do what he's doing, I spend my entire time trying to hunt him. So it's fun. We kind of try and make sure that the streams interact and have a good time. You know, again, he's a much bigger stream, a much busier chat, and I think a lot of folks kind of feel lost in there when they get into that kind of scenario. Okay, let's see. How is Loreville going to treat us? We will know very quickly whether or not we got some storms. Where is my arrow for Loreville? Oh, there it goes. It's up above us. Yeah, it was being weird there for a second. I don't know why my little secondary jump arrow didn't come up. Wonder if this is going to be another nighttime approach. No, it's a daytime approach. Alright, so guys, pay attention, because what's going to happen here is I'm going to start flying towards the starport. And if this thing starts kicking and yawing on me, then all we're going to do is head back up to the sky. So there's the starport, and I'm lined up there. So we're going to start rolling in here and seeing if we have any storms going on. Normally by now, this is a good sign. Normally by now I would have already been blown to one side or the other. So maybe we're coming in at a good point. And we won't run into any issues from our basically not cruise control, but our autopilot stuff. The autopilot causes more crashes out here than anything else. Landing gear.
Landing gear down.
Third person view. We just broke through the cloud line. So enter third person view. It's a beautiful city. I love what they did and how they got it set up. Again, our challenges here are you have to fight the weather. So we're taking a big risk right now. Alright, let's see if we can request our spot. Okay, where'd you put it? Give me a... There we go. Okay. So we're not going to come in shallow. We're going to come in from above. We're trying to mitigate every single possibility of problem that we could come into here at Lorville. Because I'll be honest with you, it's been probably about a week or two since I've been into Lorville just because of this issue. And hopefully we don't have any winds that kick up right here on our final approach. So I am going to come in just a little bit hotter than I normally would. And I'm not going to change my view. Restricted area below, I know. Okay. Restricted area left, fine. I'm not doing anything but going into my spot. Okay, so now we're in a position that I would consider us to be relatively safe. Because now it can't really crash us. And we're down. Welcome to Lorville, folks. This is a glorious day because normally this doesn't happen with the Caterpillar anymore. So let's stroll our way through Lorville and get over to the trade terminals, unload this thing, and then see if maybe we can make a quick jump over to Area 18. Like I said, if it doesn't happen today, then first thing tomorrow, once you log into stream, let me know that you're on stream again, and we will immediately, no matter what I'm doing, we will book over to Area 18 for you. Alright. So, little known fact, most people struggle in this game with trying to figure out where they're at. And what I want to show you is, everyone wants to look at that yellow sign that's in front of them that says 003. That's not it. If you're at Lorville, take a look. Right above it, let me go in first person view. There we go. Close enough. You see that 004? Every single hangar is laced with that information. So you'll see exactly what hangar you're really in. A lot of your other locations don't have that. Now again, there's another one here at Lorville exclusively. If you look on the floor right to my right hand side, it says hangar 004. So, alright dude, have a good night. Appreciate you being around, and we will get you squared away in the morning, okay? I'll see you tomorrow. So again, that little hangar information right there, if you ever find yourself running into your elevator real quick, just look down. You'll see that it says what hangar you're actually in. Beautiful. Love it. Alright. So this is the crash. So that was actually my system crashing. Ironically here. So public crash handler execute. So now we have to go through the fun and games of killing all of this, making sure our task manager doesn't have anything up and going. Alright, let's see if it will let us back in, or if, oh, well, I was really hoping that maybe the crash actually happened because they were trying to load the patch. But that's not what happened. So we'll be back in there. But the good news is because we landed and because we're at Lorville, our cargo is safe and we're going to wake up in Lorville. So, again, that is where I'm going to say that was a blessing in disguise instead of having any issues go on. At least it didn't go on while we were dealing with cargo and we were in open flight. Alright. So it looks like Chad is back in the menus, which is awesome. Let me get this sold. And I may be jumping onto my Discord here in a little bit. Yeah, Chad, it wasn't that. I actually got the full PC crash on my end. So, Kakis, welcome. You know, again, for those of you that don't know him, this is Chad. He's one of my best buds. We usually do a lot of flying here in the verse. Were you able to get your 320 error solved and get everything squared away? Has it been letting you back in the game yet? And again, I don't want to tab out and go to Discord and then pick Chad up here audio-wise until after this load screen is done. You had to do a character reset? Okay. Did it save all your money and all your ships and everything? Was everything still persistent? Dang, that is a whole lot there, bud. Hold on. Let me jump to Discord now and go ahead and grab that and pull you in here. We don't have long left on the stream today anyway, but yeah, I know the moderator is he's being temperamental today, isn't he? All right. So let's see. Yep, I agree, man. That's going to be one of those where let's see if it survives. So, tabletop, let's get on down into our recording studio channel. There we are. What's up, Chad?
What's up, Mike?
Alright, so, I don't know if you saw that, but we successfully landed at Lorville.
No, I just got on Twitch because I didn't know if you had gotten offline or if you had a crash or was resetting, so I jumped on Twitch to see if you were still live. I went, oh, okay, he's resetting, but I had to, bust your chops a little bit. Yeah, so I had to do a character reset, and I kept my funds, so I still have my 2 million credits.
Okay.
Apparently, the persistence is still a little buggy because I lost everything else that I bought for my ships, except the shield generator I bought like 2 weeks ago for my cutty. So I lost all the guns I bought. I had upgraded the drive, the shields, the coolers, you name it, man. That cutty was tricked out. But I have my funds, I have my ships, and more importantly, I still had the cat.
Yep.
And when I logged in last night, late after I got all this fixed, I had 2 cats. I could claim them both.
Yep.
So I flew to another station, and I was able to pull them each individually out on the pad. Of course, I didn't have a partner to lift one off to make sure I could pull them at the same time, but it looks like I have 2 cats now.
All right. So
I got to take this call. Hold on.
no problem. So yeah, that's another bug that's going on right now, guys. Is something is happening with the ship retrieval terminals, and it's not supposed to list out the second vehicles anymore or the replacement vehicles, and it still is. But when it's doing it in a standpoint where you now own multiples of that particular vehicle. Alright, so we are going to go ahead and hit up the spaceport line because I do want to get to the central business district, and this is probably one of the better ways to get there, so we're just chilling. Like I said, we'll have to hit up Area 18 tomorrow. So let's see, the train is here. Let's run for it. And did we make? Yep, we made it. So oftentimes you got to be careful, especially in Lorville, that the trains can tend to bug out on you. If it looks like there's a train there and the door looks shut, and then one pulls up and it looks like the door opens, you'll get stuck in this no man's land, and it's horrible. Only thing you can do is wait for your ship to store on its own, and then log out of the game, and log back in so you can wake up in a habitat bed. Alright, come on. And I love how they did the cities here. There's so much field of view that you actually get from them. It's just, it's unique. It really feels like you're legitimately, it's very immersive, like you're legitimately there. And normally, guys, I have become accustomed to just like doing what I can and sprinting through all this stuff. And when I go back and check stuff, it's like, well, that's not very cinematic. So let's go out and, you know, enter in a good, you know, good view. Oh, we just missed it because we were strolling. We'll wait. But enter into a good third-person view, and then from there, be able to play with the cameras and kind of scroll it around here. And give you some different views of what's happening here in the verse. Yeah, I could take my helmet off and I could do all other kinds of stuff. And I do have my face over IP stuff set up, so that might be an interesting little thing once we get there. Let me do that. Let's go ahead and pull the helmet off right now. I don't need it back on. Let's go here. I don't have my hotkey set. So armor, let's go ahead and unequip the helmet. There we go. Save the changes. And off we are. So now we should be sitting here. And if everything works correctly, and it's not taking my face over IP stuff, so you're not able to see me chat. Okay. It's one of those cool little features that they got in the game. I absolutely love. Now, oftentimes, the way it registers and tries to see my face, it's like it closes the eyes and droops the mouth. You almost look like you're, you know, basically having a breakdown of some sort. You know, you're either so stoned that you can't move, or you kind of just looks like maybe you're having a stroke or something. So let's see, here we are, Central Business District, and go. My dude is just staring up at the ceiling, isn't he? There he goes. Okay. There he is. Alright. So, there is the leader of Lorville, and, or Hurston, should I say. He's not an egomaniac at all. He has just, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, and a couple more down there. Maybe like 6 golden statues of himself. You know, that's not you know, egotistical, not in the slightest, right? So we will pick up a little bit of a jog here and head on up into the trading district. Hopefully, some of y'all have seen this. If not, it looks like a giant stock market. My guy runs like he's got a stick somewhere. That's just wrong. Cocks his head way up in the air, and it's pretty sad, right? And there we go. There is the Super Mario theme in the background. So like, you see all this information that's right here. And what's really cool is as you get close to the terminal, it tells you all the stuff, but what it's not showing you is real prices here. I think it would be fantastic if they actually updated and logged and loaded real prices there. It's not until you truly access your terminal here, and we say we want to go ahead and offload this material. I have laranite that I'm going to sell for 345K. So that corrects the entire loss that we had earlier from the ship blowing up. So we are at 3.25 million, and we'll see where we're going to end up later on this evening, just in my own passive playtime. But I have about 20 minutes left of normal stream, and I will say that rather than just spend the entire time in space, because it's going to take about 5 or 6 minutes to get back to the starport, and do other stuff like that, and finally get a ship up and lift it off to go do something, I think here is a very good breaking point for today, and tomorrow I will be kicking back off about 9 a.m. Central again. So for all of you that were here and were chatting, and those that were just lurking and hanging out, I appreciate it. I'm really glad that you were here, and you know, I'll see you tomorrow. So like we like to say at our gaming table, keep on adventuring, guys.